Okay. So my performance is called The Intrusive Reader, an Exploration of Poetic Voice. So I'm really interested in poetry as it pertains to the voice because it's arguably the only form of writing that is meant to be both read and spoken out loud. I mean, plays you can read silently, but essentially they're supposed to be performed, and novels you can read out loud, but essentially they're supposed to be read personally. So I think poetry is really interesting in that respect. So what I've done is I've taken 5 of my favorite poems, or sections of them, and I'm going to attempt to read all those in different voices, not necessarily doing an impression of the author, so for 4 out of the 5 authors we have recordings of them reading. So I could do that, and I'm sort of interpreting their voices through my voice. And then I've written poetic responses in the same form, and I'm going to try to read those in my voice, and we'll see if the difference works. Okay. From Billy Collins on Turning 10. This is the beginning of sadness, I say to myself as I walk through the universe in my sneakers. It is time to say goodbye to my imaginary friends. Time to turn the first big number. It seems only yesterday I used to believe there was nothing under my skin but light. If you cut me, I could shine. But now, when I fall upon the sidewalks of life, I skin my knees. I bleed. Response. I can see him at 10 years old, skinny and mop-headed with grass-stained jeans, some tattered book forever in his back pocket, a head forever in the clouds. And now, in a cold auditorium, that mop-head bear, still skinny, hunched like a boy over a comic book, reading in that devastating monotone, all the more enchanting for the blood in his veins. Philip Larkin, this be the verse. They fuck you up, your mom and dad. They may not mean to, but they do. They fill you with the faults they had and add some extra just for you. But they were fucked up in their turn by fools in old-style hats and coats, who half the time were soppy stern and half at one another's throats. Man hands on misery to man, it deepens like a coastal shelf. Get out as early as you can, and don't have any kids yourself. Response. They fuck you up, old Larkin said in dry and cutting British drawl. Get out, he urges, for you're dead, or perhaps as soon as you can crawl. But I think of my dear dad and mum, not foolish, strident, or unkind, who bade me march to my own drum and urged I make up my own mind. They fucked me up. I guess Phil's right. If not with misery, then with joy. He warned he'd hoped I'd see the light, but I'll be tripping over toys. From Dylan Thomas, Fernhill. Nothing I cared in the lamb-white days, that time would take me, up to the swallow-thronged loft by the shadow of my hand, in the moon that is always rising, nor that riding to sleep I should hear him fly from the high fields, and wake to the farm forever fled from the childless land. Oh, as I was young and easy in the mercy of his means, time held me green and dying, though I sang in my chains like the sea. Response. Nothing I care, in my Wordsworthian and daydreams, where Dylan and I are ensconced in that high place of special providence, watching the glade wax green, hiding from the winds sweeping through the stable, climbing down in the dew-bright morning, skimming the roses but cutting only the lilies, and throwing them steeple-high to land somewhere in the tall grass. Time keeps us, raw and hopeful, though he drank and I live alone. I'm missing a page. This is not part of the performance. Hold on a moment. From Edna St. Vincent Millay, Dirge Without Music. The answer's quick and keen. The honest look, the laughter, the love, they are gone. They have gone to feed the roses. Elegant and curled is the blossom. Fragrant is the blossom. I know. But I am not resigned. More precious was the light in your eyes than all the roses in the world. Down, down, down into the darkness of the grave, gently they go, the beautiful, the tender, the kind. Quietly they go, the intelligent, the witty, the brave. I know, but I do not approve, and I am not resigned. Response. She and her scratching pen, the lovely light, her foes, her friends, they are gone. She dropped her ribbon-tied roses, brittle and cracking is the page, yellow is the page, and nothing she can do. She runs her fingertips over the headstones and tucks her resignation in her pockets. Down, down, down onto the brightness of the page, clicking they go the letters of the press, clacking they go the assonants, similes, rhymes. I know that she did not approve, but maybe was resigned. From Alfred Lord Tennyson, Ulysses. Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off, and sitting well in order, smite the sounding furrows, for my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Telemachus's response. My father stands in cold, determined pride, his back to Ithaca, to me, to her, reciting to the waves a battle cry, the siren's song still ringing in his ears. So long I've watched the rolling wine-dark sea, for some tattered sail, for his unlined face. And now the tapestries are slashed and running with the blood of vultures and fools, and I am not avenged. Orphaned still, for she sits up nights in her tree, weeping for him, the aged man who cannot love but war. Cunning still, but a shipless captain who seeks one last adventure in the void, homesick for a home he cannot find. Thank you.